Hello, rodeo fans. Welcome back to the Short Round Podcast. It's been a hot minute, but here we are. We're just a few days away from the Maple Leaf Circuit Finals, counting down the hours until we wrap up. I guess you could call it the 2025 Canadian rodeo season here at Canadian Western Agribition. This week, I am pleased to be joined by my co-host Clay Creasy and a very special co-host, our annual Maple Leaf Circuit Final expert, Robert Schmidt's joining us on the show today. Boys, how are we feeling heading into Regina this week?
Well, I'm feeling pretty happy and healthy and excited for a week at Agribition. See all my friends. It's been a while since I think actually it was maybe you and I talking about um, being away from rodeo since the CFR. So it's gonna be fun to get back into it.
Yeah, definitely. It's gonna be fun to watch it. Clay, how are you feeling heading into this week of rodeo down in Regina?
Yeah, same thing. I don't spend near as much of my time fully immersed in the sport of rodeo as you guys maybe do on the front lines there, but it's good to get some action going again to see some guys going here and kind of again finishing off what it feels like for 2025, but getting that head start on 2026 is always kind of that neat event to see get going.
Yeah, it's crazy. It's crazy to think that we're at the end of 2025 already. Like it seems like the year's flown by, but there's been so much happen between the last Maple Leaf Circuit Finals and this one. But before we jump into that, guys, I want to talk about something really cool that happened over the past few weeks. Something that I talked about with lots of folks and it was debated whether it would actually ever happen, but it did, and it couldn't have happened to a better guy. Jared Parsonage walked out of the PBR Canada Finals as the 2025 champion, becoming the first bull rider to become the undisputed champion of Canada, which I think is a really cool thing. He rode 9 out of 9 bulls in Edmonton this year, and he walked out of there. I think it was like $197,000 between the CFR and PBR Canada finals, just from however many seconds of work that maths out to be. But an unbelievable achievement. And Robert, we'll start with you. What was it like to watch one of our own Sasky boys become the only undisputed bull riding champion of Canada?
It was pretty cool to watch, and I love that term. And I believe Ted even said that in his podcast as well, how you coined it, the very first undisputed champion of Canada. And I think that's a pretty cool title to have. And I think it's a great way to go out the way Jared just kind of nobody knew about it. I was talking to some riders after the PBR Canada finals. They said he just walked right back into the dressing room and kind of let them know that was the last one, boys, and made the announcement right there. And they were like, "Oh yeah, for the year." And he said, "No, no, that's the last one ever." So I think it's a pretty neat way to go out, and that's going to be something that's going to be hard to do
Oh my
again.
God, yeah.
Look how long it's been now before anybody completed that goal or reached that
It's
achievement.
been
So.
almost 30 years, like in the making, I guess, between you. Like they've been crowning what? This is like the 26th or 27th Canadian PBR champion they've crowned.
Yeah, I mean the PCB before the PBR
Yeah,
and
yeah.
whatever, like counting all of that. So, pretty neat accomplishment to have, and I'm pretty happy for Jared. He went through his career mostly unscathed as far as injuries go. He's had a couple setbacks there where he was sidelined for a while, but nothing serious. And he's going to be able to get out of bed when he's 60 years old and go look after those cows. So, pretty happy for Jared.
You talk about a guy who did his career right. Like he went through every step of the way, found his footing. He had a lot of success later in his career. He invested what he won back into his future. And yeah, he like look if you look back at his list of accolades, like he's gonna go down as one of the greatest Canadian bull riders ever.
I actually had that conversation with somebody the other day. I think he's got to be in the conversation for being in the top five or top three or top 10, wherever you want to put him. There's
Hmm.
always that argument, but he is going to go down as one of the greatest ever. And I just wanted to note that I got to interview him at the Yorkton PBR Canada event right the week before the PBR Canada finals, and I gave him a little bit of a heads up, but I said that's a question I was going to ask him was what does the future hold for Jared Parsonage if he is the undisputed champion of Canada? And he did his little smirk out of the side of his mouth that we all like to joke about. And he said, "Oh shoot, we'll just worry about the future after I win that title." So it was pretty cool. I had a hunch and I was trying to dig some information out of him, but congratulations to Jared and wish him all the best in his future endeavors in the ranching world and raising his family.
Well, I know Clay, you and I were talking about heading into the CFR that Jake Gardner had a good shot of becoming the undisputed Canadian champion. Obviously, it didn't work out for him, but you texted me, I think just after the first night of the PBR Canada finals, saying that we should be ordering that wrestling belt for Jared. And yeah, it's such a cool accomplishment. And yeah, what do you think watching Jared march his way to such a historic achievement?
It absolutely was so cool to see it all unfold, and it's nothing against Jacob, but yeah, I mean, if Jacob would have had as good of a CFR and leading into that, I mean, it's not even just a matter of it happened. It's that, I mean, he went 9 for 9 between
Yeah,
both events.
dominated.
It's just mind-boggling, and just picked up that steam or carried that momentum out of the CFR to finish the PBR season at the top going into it. So it had all the makings of it, and then yeah, he just rolled into Edmonton again and just carried on and took names there for sure. So it was just something to behold. I was putting together a little article about the Czar Lake Bullarama here, the local event that won outdoor event of the year for the PBR Canada, and Jordan Hansen, local guy nowadays that had a pretty good finals. And if I wouldn't have had a short word count, I would have definitely given the plug to Jared because that was just such an incredible feat.
Mhm.
And then to just do the walk off is yeah, I mean that's something I think any competitor would dream about, getting to put that stamp on the end of their career like that and say, you know what, I could have kept doing it, but I got better things to do and cows to chase and enough money to afford them now. So that's always a good time to go with. And yeah, again, I gotta say, when we go back to it, because we didn't talk about it on our last show, was the predictions that we made before the year started. Again, just off the cuff saying Kyle Lucas is going to either make the NFR or win a Canadian title this year. That was mine. And then for you to throw out that we were going to get an undisputed champ, the I mean, you watch a lot of those sports shows, and those guys will make hundreds of predictions in a year, and they'll get 3 or 4 of them to stick. And I mean, if we look back at our CFR preview show, I don't know how many of those panned out, but
Yeah.
for those long shots, and we didn't call a bookie or anybody to put some money down on those.
Yeah.
It is the only disappointing part.
Yeah, I wish we could have had some play Alberta odds for that because that's a couple deadly guesses by us there, Clay. And I guess like final thought on Jared, it's kind of like uh poetic in the way he finished it off in true Jared Parks' fashion. Like he's been one of the most consistent guys going down the road his whole career, and for him to, like you say, knock out 9 out of 9 and put all that money in his pocket to end things off was pretty awesome to watch. And I was really lucky to sit down with Jared last week for an interview. He's our special guest this week, so it was really cool to talk to him kind of shortly after he won and what the future holds for him and how things look. So it was really good. And again, yeah, congratulations to Jared. Hell of a career, and we're definitely gonna miss watching him as we go down the road in 2026 and beyond. But he won't be too far away, I'm sure. He's one of those guys that you can't not be around the sport. So, anyways, congrats, Jared. And yeah, boys, like I said before in the opening of the show, we are couple sleeps away for the start of the Maple Leaf Circuit Finals. It's become one of the marquee events on the Canadian rodeo schedule. It's a big event, lots on the line for contestants. A spot down at the NFR Open in July, which can, for a lot of people looking at one of our guys, Scott Gunther, can really help move the needle when it comes to making the NFR.
Yeah, for sure. I mean that like you say, that buy into Colorado, to that NFR Open, that can be huge, and I can almost guarantee if Scotty does win it again, Becky is going to tell him, we do need to go to those winter rodeos just in case, because I know that's been a conversation we've had, and he is just he doesn't want to do it. And he talking about guys that want to just stay home and ranch, like that's another one, but he keeps plugging along here and everything. So, but no, this Maple Leaf Circuit Finals is just a great event, and yeah, really great way to start one year and really build on that.
Well, and Robert, for you, this is your third year announcing down there now.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
so
this is
so what's it been like for you to watch it evolve over the last few years and it's kind of I feel like it's kind of like inching up, like I said, to one of those marquee events we have on the schedule. And
so that's I agree, Wacey, and I think that when the Maple Leaf Circuit Finals first came to CWA there with Canadian Western Agribition in Regina, I think that as far as rodeo goes in the city for the common rodeo goer of the city of Regina, they don't care whether it is the Canadian Finals to them. They're maybe not aware of the CFR in Rogers Place or other rodeos in. I always talk about the city goers in Alberta. It's all about the Calgary Stampede. In the province of Saskatchewan, it's all about Alberta. I've spoke with people on the street, even in Weyburn, Saskatchewan, and I've told them that I've worked the Canadian Finals rodeo, and they said, "Man, someday maybe you'll be at Agribition." So here we are, but I think in saying that, now being the Maple Leaf Circuit Finals for as long as it has been, it's kind of getting its own following as a pro rodeo premier event and in a way that people are looking forward to that circuit finals every single year. It's for a lot of them, it is a Canadian finals, and they're waiting for that Canadian finals at the professional level in Regina every year. So, and you can tell by the ticket sales. I mean, they
hmm
announced a couple of days ago that Saturday was already sold out, and Friday's got to be close to sold out. It will be before the end of the week, and Thursday's another night where it's maybe not completely sold out, but when it holds 7,000 fans and there's probably 5,000 at the minimum screaming their heads off every night, it's a pretty fun rodeo to
It
be a
gets
part of.
rocking in there, man.
Yeah, it's really rolling. I said that about watching it back on TV. You can hear the energy in our voice, and sometimes it comes across as a little aggressive. But when you're in there and feeding off that crowd, it's hard. It's hard to not get fired up.
Yeah, it's a great event, and like the amount of like effort and time that the exhibition crews put into it, and C5 Rodeo, what they've done to turn it into a marquee event, it's showing, and I think people are taking notice of how great an event it is. We mentioned Scotty already, but I think as we roll into this Maple Leaf Circuit Finals, I almost want to. Is there pressure on him to keep his momentum going from the CFR, just as because we're so close to Vegas? He's not obviously not going to be thinking about that, but if he goes to the Maple Leaf Circuit Finals and maybe doesn't have as good of a time as he did in Edmonton, do you think that'll take some wind out of his sails heading into Vegas? We'll start with you, Clay, and go to Robert after it.
And I mean, I kind of treaded lightly on that the other day because I was gonna maybe put something together here and everything. But yeah, I just kind of asked him. I said, like, where do you feel that momentum? I mean, it's been a gap in time,
hmm
unlike for Jared, right? I mean, there was PBR events and then that PBR Canada finals, and all of that happens pretty quick. But for the regular rodeo contestants, I mean, we've had that little bit of downtime. I do know Scotty had gone down to Texas to help break in the steers,
hmm
get kind of run through the pen of steers that they're going to be bringing to Vegas. So I mean, has that under his belt and everything. A little bit of a dynamics, and this was even before any of the EHV and EIA issues, but. Planning had him riding his own horse in Regina because he's headed down to ride Eddie down in Vegas and just those precautions. I mean, a couple of years ago, part of the issue when he went to Vegas was Tyson had went to Regina and then caught strangles and they couldn't use him in Vegas. So, but as far as the competition end, I mean, there's very few guys that are as calm, cool, and collected as Scotty Gunstner is, and whether it goes well or not in Regina, I don't know if he'll let that impact it. I still think it's going to be to his benefit regardless. Because I mean, let's say it doesn't go well, those are just a few runs that he kind of knocks some things off and resets and goes into Vegas with things going. And if he picks up where he left off from Edmonton, well, I think there's a lot of people in trouble.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Robert, what do
I
you think?
agree. I think Scott's just the ultimate competitor, and there couldn't have been any more pressure than when he backed in the corner in round five
hmm
and looked to break that record and become the first one to win all five go arounds. Um, Pretty crazy that he accomplished that, and I think it's going to be win or lose in Regina. I don't think it's going to affect him at all going into Vegas. I think he's got that duck mentality, the water off a duck's back, and for everyone that he loses, he seems to win more than he loses. So it's all good with Scott.
Yeah, and then you give that guy any sort of momentum, he's going to take it and run with it. It's fun to watch. I kind of wanted to brush on. I don't know if we want to call it the elephant in the room or the I guess what everybody's talking about in the horse world. Clay, you mentioned it, the EVH and the EVI going around. I know it's not as much of an effect up here, but do we think that that's going to affect maybe which horses we see in Regina next week or this week, I guess, with who's riding what and who's doing like, is that going to be in the back of mind of the contestants, I guess? Robert, we'll start with you.
I think it probably will be in the backs of the minds of some of the competitors headed into Regina and in choosing what horses they're going to take there. And it all depends on how they house their animals at home and who they come in contact with there. So I don't want to go out on a limb or step out there and say that I know who's going to ride who or who's not going to bring what horse to the rodeo. But and I'm not even going to try on the microphone. I think back to the CFR trying to name barrel horses that barrel racers were riding. I'm not even going to try that in Regina. I'm just going to let it all play out, and we'll talk about the human athletes a little bit more,
Hmm.
and we'll see throughout the week what competitors are riding what horses, and just kind of go by that feel and see where it takes us.
Well, and one thing we do know for sure is that like horse people are the most diligent folks when it comes to animal care, and they'll do their best to keep everything happy and healthy and safe. And I know the Canadian Professional Rodeo Association and Canadian Western Agribition have been working closely together with all the parties involved to make sure that everybody's going to be it's going to be a safe, fun, and exciting rodeo for everybody next week and or this week in Regina. Geez, I'm a week behind on myself now here, but. Anyways, boys, I think that's gonna do it for the first half of the show here. Unless anybody has anything else they want to touch on before we throw it to Jared Parsonage.
The one thing I was going to say a little bit earlier there, yeah, the wheels were turning, but they just weren't quite picking up. They, yeah, it's like it's on ice or something. But you know, being a guy who rodeoed in the CPRA before there was the official Maple Leaf circuit, and having to kind of like pick a place. I mean, honestly, the first year I had a PRCA card, I sent in my card and didn't even pick a circuit, and it said Canadian Circuit, which meant nothing.
Yeah, yeah.
It absolutely just completely ruined anything for me for a circuit opportunity. But just for competitors to have that circuit on our own soil and it to be an event that has become such a strong stand on its own event is truly a remarkable thing for the CPRA. I know that for a period of time, there was the attempt to kind of build and grow an event in Calgary. It just never quite got the traction that it needed to be as successful. And having the well-established market and event of Agribition has just been a tremendous partnership for the CPRA, and I mean things like that are just awesome to see.
Yeah, it's great. I'm glad you brought that up, Clay, because it's kind of cool. It gives our athletes another platform or stage to perform at. And we saw last year at the finals, the NFR Open, I guess we can call it. So many of our athletes, they would win in rounds, making good rides, making good runs, and kind of putting a lot of people down south on notice that okay, we have a lot of really great contestants outside of the ones that we just send to the NFR.
For sure. And you know, like, and when you go through this list, I mean, the majority of these ones aren't the ones that are looking to go to the NFR themselves. I mean, you'll see guys that maybe will pick a circuit down south as their circuit just because maybe that's where they feel that gives them a bit more of an advantage for that end of things. But yeah, absolutely. To get these competitors that fit that circuit mold. The reason that the circuit system was created in the PRCA in the first place was those weekend warriors, in a sense, that are doing this for the love of it, not just entirely to be at the top of the game.
Yeah, no, it's a great format. Go ahead, Robert.
That's I agree, Clay, and I think it's a great way to for a competitor to gauge themselves on whether they want to head into those deep waters and chase that NFR dream or the Canadian Finals Rodeo dream, and looking at the rosters of the lists of competitors, especially at the rough stock end of the arena, it's a pretty tough roster all the way through from the bareback riding, the bronc riding, the bull riding, all of them. I can't wait to watch it all kind of unfold, and see who's going to step up in a big way. We talked about that going into the Canadian Finals Rodeo with guys like Tyrell Robertson, Nick Patterson, and the Lucas Matzas of the world. And now's their opportunity with the NFR qualifiers resting and getting ready for Vegas. This is a way for them to step up, get a head start, and maybe kick off their year. And I think even at the timed event end of the arena, Charlie Crawford, multi-time NFR qualifier, he talked about it in conversation with some Canadian team ropers, how team roping and the timed events and the competitiveness of Canadian competitors has just exploded, especially in the team roping world. We're so high on our bronc riders all the time with so many going to the national finals rodeo, but there was 9 team ropers from Canada that finished in the top 50 in the world this year.
Hmm.
So I think that speaks volumes to the talent pool in Canada, and I think it speaks volumes to the amount of money that can be won north of the border nowadays. So I don't think the circuit finals or Canadian rodeo, I don't think that's something that any competitor should be shying away from. I think more Americans should be coming to Canada too and taking in our rodeos.
Yeah, there's a lot of money to be won and a lot of great rodeos, so don't be sleeping on the Canadian rodeos, y'all. It's good stuff. But all right, boys, let's throw it to Jared and we'll pick it up right after this with the second half of the short round. Welcome back to the short round. This week, I am pleased to be joined by the undisputed bull riding champion of Canada, my buddy Jared Parsonage. Jared, before we get into all of the craziness that's happened over the past few weeks, but just, I mean, what's it been like these last few days, kind of reflecting on a great career and a crazy way to end things off?
It's been good. It's kind of, I suppose, a little bit surreal. Like I said, I don't know if you could have drew it up any better. It'd have pretty much been perfect all fall. It's pretty crazy to think it went that way, and feel very, very fortunate that it did go that way. So, no, it's been good. Get home and get back to normal life.
Yeah, fair enough. I guess the cows don't really care how many bulls you rode or championships you won in the past few weeks,
No,
hey?
no, the cows or the kids.
Oh, that's great. Well, before we talk about the last week or so here, Jared, let's get into the 2025 season as a whole and the CFR and all that great stuff. So 2024, you missed the CFR due to injury, and you had a strong 2025 season. And I don't know, I hate to say that you came into the CFR under the radar, but maybe you weren't. I can't even say you weren't a favorite because you're always a favorite when you're in the mix. But what was your mindset heading into the CFR even into 2025? Like, were you motivated to get back and show that you could still dominate at that level?
Not really. It
That's
took
fair. That's fair.
it took a long time. Yeah, after getting hurt at whatever Grand Prairie there the fall before and missing the CFR and
Yeah.
missing all that, it took a long time. I really come close to quitting after that, but I couldn't let my pride get in the way of that. And I knew, I've always known that this was going to be the last year after I got there. And it took me a while to get focused, and spring's kind of busy around here and taking on some other stuff. And I never really went very much in the spring to too much. And it took me just a little while to get focused and get wanting to do it again. And then summer rolled around and got having a pretty good summer. Like, honestly, the regular season, the CPRA side, the regular season wasn't as good this year as it was in per se 2024. It was definitely better.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was good though nonetheless. Like, had a good summer, and then got more time and got focused back in on bull riding, and away we went.
So then I guess knowing that 2025 is going to be your final season, which I guess is a surprise to myself and a lot of folks, but heading into the CFR, did that give you that extra motivation to like go in there and be like, okay, this is my last hurrah here. I'm gonna show up and show out.
Yeah, I think honestly it kind of did all fall. It took a little while to get, like, I don't know, to set in, I suppose, like through the summer. But like, the whole family went out to Armstrong and stuff like that. And I knew all these places it would be the last time I'd go. I just never said anything to anybody.
Yeah.
Stuff. And like, yeah, the CFR knew it was last time and knew if the guy might as well give her his best go there. And I wouldn't say I really worried about it too much. The bull riding, it was just kind of whatever. I enjoyed it and knew if I did my job and try to be the same guy every time you crawl into the chutes, that I'm as capable as anyone of it going good.
So towards the end of the season, and like you said, it kind of already sunk in. You knew it was gonna be the last year. But what were the feelings, like you said, going to like Armstrong for the last time, or even Panoke, or some of these bigger rodeos that you've had so much success at over the years, and then now you knew it was gonna be the last rip through there.
It's kind of cool. Like, it's I guess just something you take it in, right?
Yeah.
And like, it's a lot unknown at that time. Like, I could have got wiped out at any one of those places.
Yeah,
That
that's true.
never it would have been. That's just part of bull riding. Like, I think probably the best thing is I got to walk off the stage here on the weekend without even limping. You know,
Yeah.
it was you couldn't be able to walk away. Not a lot of people get to walk away from the sport on like their own terms like that.
Mhm.
So that's just, and that in itself is really good to me. And, you know, like to take and go all these places and just kind of take them in.
So what was it like rolling into Rogers Place with the CFR? You spent a lot of time the last month or so, but for CFR 51, like you said earlier, you missed the last year due to an injury, but now you kind of got to have your last hurrah, your last swan song in Rogers. So what was it like rolling in there? I know you'd been there before at the PBR finals, but from the CFR aspect, what was it like?
Oh, it was cool. Obviously missed it not being there last year. And I was pretty bitter about that because I feel like I probably stood a pretty good chance to win it
Well,
last year too.
it's kind of like a funny deal where like, and then nothing not taken away from what Willie did, but like the guy who comes in, replaces you, shows up and wins the deals. It's like, dang, that what could have been, right?
Yeah. Give me those bulls. I'd pick those ones. I don't want to, but no, that's just the way it is. It's part of the game, but it was cool to see, you know, get in there and see like what it's done, what the CFR has done, and the potential that's there, and you know, the building, the setup, and the people there, and get back into the city of Edmonton. It's just like so much more of that big city feel. I guess I've been around long enough. I went to the CFR in Rexall, Red Deer, and now back to Edmonton. So I've seen her all, and it's nice just to get back into that big city. The big, you know, it just like seems
Yeah.
like so much bigger of a stage, right? You know, there's
Yeah.
nothing, no, all there is room for growth. Whereas, you know, the other places they did a great job, Red Deer, but I feel like it was kind of plateaued.
Yeah, no, it's definitely got a different feel to it for sure. And I guess on your sake, you roll into the first round. You come in third, just behind Jordan Hansen, Lonnie Phillips there. And did you kind of have an idea that okay, if I show up here and ride all five of my bulls, there's a really strong chance I walk out of here as a Canadian champ? Or were you just kind of one bull at a time? I guess is what everybody says. But
Oh no, that was always kind of my goal because I've never rode them all at the CFR. I've rode
right, okay.
five a couple times and never got them all. Never got all six rode when it was six. So I guess it had to go to five bulls for me to be able to ride them all. But, I knew that, like, and I knew the first one. I knew that was kind of a shoot fighter, and he'd be a handful in there. And but you know, it's kind of one of those things, and I've always felt that way through my career. If you, you know, if you put in the effort in the shoot and don't more or less be a pansy and get out on him and put in the effort and really, you know, come through in that. And I knew that when he was fighting shooting there because it hurt and everything else. And I could have easily chickened out and got 3 red, but I knew if I gritted it out, and then you kind of just set the tone for the rest of the week, I always feel. And that's probably one of the most, it doesn't matter where you go, any finals, the first one's your most important one to set, just kind of like set the tone for how your final is going to go. And I think that's the best way to give yourself a chance to get it rolling.
Well, you kind of see it with like it was kind of like heading into the finals. It was kind of between you, Jake, Grady, and Edgar were kind of the front runners, I would say. And they all three of those guys bucked off their first bulls. So then they're playing catch up towards you after you get your first one down. Hey, so it kind of gives you a bit of a
Yeah.
leg up, like you say. And then it turned into be a pretty great race. So at the end, it seemed between you and Jake, round two,
Yeah.
3, and 4, you guys were kind of going punch for punch through the end there. That must have been pretty exciting to have a kind of like, I mean, it's always fun when a guy like runs away with it, but I think having that little extra competition makes it a little bit more fun too across the board.
Oh yeah, it's more fun. You might as well be in a race for it. It's more fun that way. It's better that way. It doesn't really concern me either way. I can't say as I even really thought of it like that. It was just whatever, ride them all, and what happens kind of thing. And it's kind of, I guess, as you, like I said a few interviews, as you get older, you quit worrying about that stuff and putting so much pressure on it. I just kind of ride all my bulls, and what happens. If it's meant to be, it'll be, and if it's not meant to be, it won't be.
Yeah, fair enough. Well, it's nice, I guess, too, in this situation, unlike the PBR World Finals a few years ago, you rode all your bulls and you got paid a little bit of money for it too. So that's kind of nice.
Yeah, I got paid pretty good for it. It's pretty good. Yeah, way better.
So we're at the end of the day, like, what was that? What was the feeling after you rode your last bull there? You knew you'd won the title again and the average. Yeah, what was that feeling like to just know you'd locked down your third Canadian bull riding title?
Yeah,
In the CPRA?
Yeah, it was good. It was cool because I felt like I should probably stand a chance, try to get one more, because come so close in 2023, and 2024 made me feel kind of bitter, and obviously got it in 21 and 22, and just like to get it done was just like, glad I got it done. But at the same time, I knew that this next one I wanted to get the most because I haven't got a PBR Canada title yet. So I knew it was great, but at the same time, it was just like, well, not over yet. Got lots more to focus on and keep her going.
Yeah, so
kind
that
of
your confidence must have been sky high rolling into those last few PBR events because you overtook the first place after was it after Med Hat?
Saskatoon.
Saskatoon, okay. Yeah, so the second last event of the year, you'd overtake first place, and your confidence had to be sky high rolling in back into Rogers Place, a place you had just rode 5 bulls to win the Canadian Professional Rodeo title. Now you're going into another place where you got to ride 4 great bulls to win another title. But what was the feeling like heading back into Rogers for the PBR Canada Finals?
Well, good idea. Looking back on it now, I don't know how it couldn't be going into that building. It's treated me pretty good through
Yeah,
the years. I don't know for sure. I was looking off, but I know I haven't bucked off a bull in there since 2022. I
I
won
was
the
trying to
PBR
figure out the full
finals.
math. Yeah, because
Yeah,
you've rode a ton of bulls there.
and I think I'm not sure. I'd have to look back on Pro Bowl stats, so I haven't looked. But I'm not sure in 2021, the first year they had the PBR finals there. I think I maybe only bucked off one bull there in the short round. But ever since 2022, it's been good. I think I rode them all actually. So
Dang.
that building's been pretty good to me. So I guess person should have confidence in those places.
So then I guess like similar to what I asked about the CFR, like the PBR finals, what was going through your mind in that first bull? I mean, it's funny because like ever since I've known you since we were kids, it's just always been that business, like never get too high, never get too low. But like what was having that like knowing that you had that goal in the back of your mind to win that first PBR Canadian title, like what was there a bit of added pressure this time around, or were you just kind of same old same?
Yeah, not. I wouldn't say overly. Like I obviously probably put some pressure on myself, but not overly. I think I knew, and like it's really out of your control, and you realize that. And I
Yeah.
knew if I could just be the same. The biggest thing I've said is just be the same person every time you get in the shoot and put that same effort forward. And I knew the first bull I had there, I knew he was just good, and
Mhm.
totally expected myself to ride him. And I knew I wouldn't win the round or anything, but I'd get a good pick. And I feel like bulls that other guys are 86 on, I'm 84,
Oh
84 and a
yeah,
half,
that's been
85.
like
So
that forever.
been that way. So I knew, and I had lots of confidence that I could ride anyone there. Got lots of confidence with that. So I knew then setting up where the pick goes, that's gonna set up pretty good for a guy like myself with lots of consistency, right? To
hmm
go. And I knew if I would pick a bucker, I had to pick bulls that I thought bucked hard
hmm
in those next rounds that suited my style, but try to pick in the top of the pen and try to win the rounds because like I said, I never told anybody, but told Tulsa this. I said, well, I might as well try to win the rounds because if you get bucked off trying to win the round instead of trying to pick an 83 pointer and safety up, then you'll have no regrets
Yeah,
if it
yeah.
doesn't work out. So try to pick as good a bull as possible. I picked a good bull. The second one was, I think it was 86 and a quarter or
hmm
something. Bull was good. And then I picked trailer trash. Bulls, I rode him to CFR with 87 and a half or something at
Yeah,
CFR.
yep.
He didn't quite have the same day. We were 84 and 3/4 or something, but I thought, picking him would give me a chance to
hmm
place deep in the round, which I think I still ended up like third in the round or something or fourth. And then of course in the short round, how do you not pick Moonwalk when it's been going so good at
Yeah,
gyms?
yeah. Yeah, yeah, that's awesome, man. So was round 2, 3, and 4 like the short go, they were all like pick rounds like after the first
Yeah.
go? Okay.
Yeah. That's the
So
first go you
so
pick.
what's that like? I mean, I guess there's so like you say, you want to pick a buck or so you don't have any regrets, but like there's gotta be your mind's gotta be going a million miles an hour, like deciding what bull you want to pick, or is it pretty easy at this point for you, just knowing what's gonna fit you or what you want?
Yeah, I got an idea, and those bulls good enough. And I got an idea of something that's kind of going to suit me. I don't really, what way they spin doesn't really
Yeah.
affect me too much, just as long as they kind of like, I know what suits my style and what doesn't suit my style, and then what I can do a good job of riding that looks better because, at the end of the day, you got to ride them good too to get that extra point over the bull or whatever it is, get an
hmm
extra, be marked over top of the bulls. So I know some of them, they got a style where it doesn't look that good if I ride them. I know I can ride them, but it's not going to look that good. So I
Yeah.
want to pick one that I can ride and that bucks that I can make look good.
Hmm. And then so heading into that last round, you pick Moonwalk, who turned out to be the bull of the year. Did that right? Bull of the year, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay, so bull of the year, the PBR. Were you a bit nervous in that, knowing it'd be your last ride, and you basically had to stay on just to seal the title, or what was that? What was that feeling like?
Oh, really? I
And
don't.
there because of Butter and Jake there too. They didn't like hand it to you either. They both rode their like or Butter rode his last
Yeah,
bull, and
Dakota did. Yeah,
yeah, yeah.
yeah.
So I mean
Oh
they
no, I had to ride to win, for sure. I don't know. It was. I don't really know how to explain. It was like just when you draw the line in the sand, and I'm that way. When I'm done, I'm done. It's
Mhm.
that's it. That's all. And I knew that was going to be the last one, but I hoped all fall that I'd get a chance to pick Moonwalk in there.
Yeah,
Just it was the fifth time I've rode him anywhere from 87 and a half to 90.
yeah.
Won a ton of money on him, so I couldn't have, like I said, couldn't have drawn it up any better myself. So I had lots of confidence and had lots of confidence in him and stuff, and just knew it was going to be your last one. And whatever, as far as like staying on to win, I don't know if that thought process, that
Yeah.
thought really crossed my mind that much. It was just more take her in. It's this is the last time you tie yourself on one, so take it all in. Sit
So,
down and get your stuff on and enjoy it.
oh man. So you step off, you make a great ride. What was the like rush of emotions you felt after making that last 8 seconds?
I don't really know.
Probably blacked out a
It
little
was,
bit.
yeah, not too much. No, I remembered all well. It just, yeah, got off and yeah, you're happy. The last time, take a look around and take it all in. Like I said, take it all in, try to remember it for what it's worth. And, I remember what that ride felt like and try to take those memories forward with you and people. And it was kind of funny because there's really nobody there that knew. Nobody knew. Jordan
Right.
Hansen knew, and Lonnie West, been with them. They knew. And other than that, nobody really knew. And I said, got off stands or Dad Bird stands there. Oh, I can get riding. I said, yeah, thanks. I said, that's it. That's all. That's the last one right there. He's like, really? I said, dead serious. That's it.
Damn. Oh, that's cool, man. Well, and it's got to be such a cool feeling to share that moment with guys like Lonnie and Jord and even having your family there. Like it's been such you've been in this game for a long time now, man, and you've had some really cool moments. But just to cap it off in that way, in that building, in that moment, had to be a pretty special feeling.
Oh yeah, and like I said, I purposely never said anything to anybody because I didn't want people talking about it. I didn't
Right? Yeah, yeah.
like you do that, and the focus shifts to that, right? And I didn't want the focus on that. I wanted the focus to be on winning, and my focus and everybody else's focus being on me winning. I didn't want it talked about. Didn't want no presentations or anything. I didn't want any of that stuff. I just wanted to right away kind of deal. And I knew I was getting close. I'd kind of told Jason. He'd kind of knew there was something that went on earlier a month or so before a deal. And I'd kind of said, well, it might be the last one. But I said, don't say a word. And I never said anything. And then Saturday, kind of me and Tulsa talked a lot. And I felt like I need to say something out of respect to the sport of bull riding and the Western sports and everything, because it's given me everything I've got, like friends, family, opportunities, like the list goes on and on. It's given me everything. And I felt like I owed it to the sport and the fans and people like that, just out of respect to it all, to say something. So I told him before the event, caught him in the hallway there, just me and him. And I said, I said, this is it. I'm done tonight. Tonight's it. No matter what happens, I said, if I win, I'm on stage. I said, I'll probably say something. I just said, you can, just so you know. And he's like, well, thanks for doing that. And this is maybe the coolest part of it all. He said, I kind of had a feeling, and he said, I got something planned out. And I said, well, I just so you know, so getting Tulsa and the kids down there, somewhat just depending what happens. So, so I wanted anyways, it played out how I know for sure he was hoping it played out, and me too. And it played out, went on stage. So as I went up on stage, he had Tulsa and the kids down there before the short round. He got them down there in between the arenas, and he got them up on stage as I went up on stage. And that was pretty darn cool.
Oh man.
And then I kind of announced it and said, "Oh, it's the last one." And he had event champion buckles made for both the boys.
Oh man,
that he had made ahead. So
that's
I said,
so cool.
You were really gambling on me winning this thing. Stuff. And the boys were cute. They ate it up there. They loved it.
Oh, good.
Buckles. So that was pretty special. And to think of that and do all that, it's a pretty special. That's a pretty special memory that'll never go away. Katie had to put his buckle on the next day.
Yeah. Oh, that's great, man. That's I mean, yeah, what a cool moment to share with your family and even like career wise, man. You walk out of Rogers Place with $150,000 from the PBR, and then you tack on the extra 46 and change you got out of the CFR. That's a pretty good run through a month and a half or whatever.
Pretty good building in 6 weeks. Yeah. No, that part's cool. And it's all kind of surreal. Like I said, if you couldn't really write the script any better. So I feel very lucky for that, and it's cool, and it'd be a cool memory. And what the heck, it's something that a person will always be grateful for. But I'm ready for the next steps of life.
Yeah, well, and it's pretty cool. Like we talked about it last time I had you on, just how much bull riding's changed even in our lifetime. Like you say, you've ridden at the CFR in Rexall, Red Deer. Edmonton, and same with the PBR. They had their finals in Saskatoon, had them in Edmonton, and like the amount of money that's available, like it's amazing what you can do.
Well, you can figure it out, and I'm not going to say exact number. Everybody can figure it out, but it's north of 300,000 this year riding bulls in Canada. And if you're a young bull rider, any bull rider for that matter in Canada, if that doesn't get you excited about riding bulls in Canada and treating it like a real professional sport, because that's a real living. That's real money, and it's got very minimal expenses against it. And like I said, that's a real living. So if that doesn't make you want to treat it like a professional sport and take it serious and make you excited as a young person, because that's how much it's grown in my career. There's big money up here, and it keeps growing, and everything keeps growing. So if you want to get serious about it and actually treat it like the professional sport it is, that you can make real money and put real money away and have real things, and put it towards stuff for life after bull riding.
Yeah, it's amazing, man. It's really cool to see where the sport's going and where it's heading towards. It's really good. You're leaving it in good hands, I guess we could say at the end of
Well,
it. But
I don't know. Hopefully, I hope. I just, like I said, I told us this. I hope that when I'm leaving the sport, that it's left in a better place than when I started, and I hope that I had a small part of it.
Oh man, you've had a big part of it for sure, dude. It's been fun to watch, and like I said, we've known each other since we were young lads, so it's been cool to see
Yeah.
see the evolution from my side of the fence. It's been great, buddy.
Yeah.
So I guess couple things before I let you go here, Jared. Looking back on your career, I know the most recent ones are probably the freshest in your mind, but what are there some moments that maybe stand out from your career that you're really proud of, and or maybe some rides or different things that you can think of off the top of your head here? I probably can name a few for you off the top of my head, but
Yeah, you might do a better job than me.
yeah.
I do think there is one. I feel like that probably set the tone for my career. Off the hop is my first CFR in the first round. I won the first round of my first CFR. I rode a bull called Proper Ripped
Oh
in that
yeah.
round, and rode Proper Ripped, and that was my first CFR and first round win, and ride him. And I think, like, looking back, that just like made a pretty big statement that we're here to play, and that was a big time bull back in the day, and scary. Everybody was scared of him and
Yeah,
tried
yeah.
to jerk you down. And I remember, I don't think I could swallow for the day before when the draw came out. I was so nervous looking back on it. Well, like a lot of that stuff, and how I don't know. I think probably just looking through it, how I've changed and like
hmm
evolved my career, like the things in say 16, 17, 18, where, I just matured, where didn't like to be gone. And then COVID hit, and the frustrating, I was going to quit after COVID. I said, this
Yeah.
goes on another year. This is
It's
stupid.
enough.
I quit.
Yeah.
I quit, and little did I know it would start the best years of my career
hmm hmm
and stuff. And this taught me like an appreciation for bull riding, where I could when I got to the rodeo, I could keep the stuff at home and worrying about the stuff at home, the work I needed to do aside from the bull riding, and still be a good bull rider there. And that maturity kicked in. And I think that probably set me up for these last 4 or 5 years that pretty much have been very, very good to me.
Yeah, it's been crazy, man. You've pretty in the last 5 years, you pretty much accomplished everything that guys set out to accomplish in their whole career, which is pretty remarkable
Yeah.
if you think of it
Yeah.
that way.
It's been cool that way, and stuff. And I like looking back, I never regret going to the PBR World Finals, all that and all that stuff, getting to do all that stuff, and went stuck with it, and got to go to the NFR a couple times and been there all. And it's there's nothing, you won't regret that stuff at all. And some of the stuff you wish you would have changed when you were younger. Now that I'm older, I realize that you just got to get a little more mature and
Yeah.
learn some stuff. Then you can change that stuff. I don't think any of that would ever change. It's easy for your older self to say, oh, I should have done that. But
Yeah.
at the same time, it's a whole different ballgame when you're that age.
Oh man, no doubt. So what does the next chapter look like for Jared Parsonage? I'm sure I mean, probably easy guess for a lot of folks, but what can we expect out of you here over the next
I
little
don't
while?
know. Probably. Well, there's lots. I'm lucky kids and everything else. Got lots on the go here at home, and I would think it's probably going to involve lots of staying home. But I don't know. I've said I think the sport's given me too much not to, hopefully, and who knows what'll come down the pipe, or what opportunities or whatever be to stay involved somehow, or what I think I should do. I don't know yet. I haven't really thought about that too much, but like I said, I think it's probably given me too much in the last few years to just totally disappear like a ghost, to try to stay involved a little bit in some fashion. It's not real easy living in Maple Creek.
Yeah, that's fair.
If a person can, give back somehow or something, we'll see. I haven't really put much thought into that yet.
Yeah, fair enough. I guess you can see it's still pretty fresh, and you can soak in a great week and an incredible run through October, November, man. It was great to watch, and I'm glad to have had a front row seat for it.
Thanks. No, it was a lot of fun. It's just, it was cool.
One last thing I wanted to share before I let you go here. I remember back when we were in high school rodeo, I think it was our grade 12, our last year of high school rodeo. in Saskatchewan High School Rodeo, they give out an award or like a prize for the person who's most likely to succeed in rodeo. And our year, you won that award, and
I
it's
don't even
pretty.
remember that.
It's
Yeah,
yeah,
that's
yeah.
funny.
It was pretty cool. So like thinking back on that, it's pretty cool to be sitting here now to having this conversation and looking back on such a great career, man. It's
Yeah,
been a pleasure
it's
to
cool.
watch.
Yeah, it's cool. It's been a whirlwind. It's amazing how fast time goes. Better take it all in.
Yeah, you betcha, buddy. Well, Jared, man, it's been a pleasure. I'm sure this won't be the last we talk to or see of you, but I just
Yeah.
wanted to give you one last congrats, and it's been a hell of a run, my friend.
No, thanks for having me and appreciate it all. It's been lots of fun.
Alrighty, well, we'll be right back with a short round after this. Welcome back to the short round, everybody. Thanks again to Jared Parsonage for hopping on with me there. It was great to get a chat with my old buddy. And you guys didn't hear the interview yet, but there's a funny part. Back when we were in high school rodeo, this was a funny story. They gave out an award for who was most likely to continue in rodeo the year we graduated, and Jared Parsons was the one, or who was most likely to be successful in rodeo, and Jared Parsons was the one who won it the year that we graduated. So it's kind of funny that we were having that moment, having this interview, and seeing him walk off as the undisputed Canadian champion for 2025. So that's fun stuff. But all right, boys, couple more things before we wrap up here. I want to talk about, and I don't know if I'm like making stuff up, but I feel like there might be a bit of a Maple Leaf Circuit Finals curse going around. I know if you look back at some of the champions over the past few years, I'm thinking like Jake Gardner, Logan Bird, even Cavish Drake and Denham Ross. It seems like a little bit of a trend where if you win the Maple Leaf Circuit Finals, you can't people haven't been able to deliver on a Canadian championship. Jake Gardner has won the bull riding of Maple Leaf Circuit Finals the last 2 years and has been the season leader in the bull riding the last 2 years, but yet is still chasing that Canadian bull riding championship. And then you look at Logan Bird, he also won the Maple Leaf Circuit Finals last year, went into the finals as a season leader, didn't deliver on a Canadian title in 2025. Then Cavish Drake and Denham Ross, they kicked ass all year, won the Maple Leaf Circuit Finals, coming to the CFR. They unfortunately don't walk out of Rogers Place with the Canadian title. So, am I crazy, or are we seeing a bit of a trend here when it comes to the MLCF curse?
Look at this, two competitors not want two past competitors not wanting to ever speak on a curse right now.
Yeah,
No
that
comment.
I hadn't really ever thought about it that way. I mean, when we've talked about it in the past, we always talk about how it's such a good way to get, like, if you've been somebody who's had a kind of a tough end to the year, maybe you ended up on the wrong side of the CFR cut. It was always a good way for somebody to get that jump start and kind of put themselves in a spot where they can maybe get that momentum to carry on to make the CFR. But yeah, it can be a different deal once you get there and everything. I think by the time you get to this part, it's a little bit different than, say, like if you're looking at the NHL and they talk about the President's Trophy curse, right? You finish the regular season at the top of the NHL, but don't always get to the top of the Stanley Cup parade there. But yeah, I other than that, I'm not gonna say that's why they didn't win or anything like that. I mean, most of those people, I'm not gonna mess with them.
Well, it's not. I'm not trying to speak ill of anybody who's won or what they've accomplished. I'm just saying that just as somebody who works on the media side of things, it's a bit of a trend that I'm noticing. So I just wanted to see if I don't know if there's any, because
I
even
think it's
even
a
look at Bobby Henderson. She kicked ass at the Maple Leaf Circuit Finals last year, and she had a tough CFR this year. So I don't want it to be a curse.
Lori
I know,
Saunders.
and I don't
Yeah,
want to get into people's heads about it, but it's something that I've noticed and something that should be talked about since that's our jobs.
I
I could
think I
just see
think it's
Wacey, yeah,
it's a
walking
great.
around behind people going, I don't know if you want to win
Yeah,
this.
it's like so. I don't know. I might have some people coming after me after the show too. I want it to be known. There's no ill will intended by this conversation. I'm just something that I've noticed.
Yeah, yeah, no, that's
I
good.
think it's
That's
a
good.
great conversation. It's a great thing to talk about, and I think that conversation and that point, Wacey, you'll have people talking about it, trying to figure out who the past winners of
Oh,
Maple
there,
Leaf Circuit Finals are and
someone's
who's
gonna
won
figure out
Canadian
that I'm
titles.
wrong somewhere on the line for sure. Like I'm sure Clay will be able to figure that out after we hop off here and
I'm trying to do it off the top of my head, and I'm like, ooh, he might be
yeah,
onto something here.
like because
Yeah, no,
there has
I
been
don't have any counter evidence at this point.
there has been people who have won the overall circuit, like Cody Lamb, for instance, and won a Canadian title. But I've noticed the last few years that if you win the Maple Leaf Circuit Finals the following year, they don't have like not saying it's a bad year. It just when it comes down apples and apples trying to win that Canadian title, it hasn't worked out for those folks. But
Like being on the cover of EA Sports.
yeah, it's like the Madden
NHL.
curse.
Yeah.
Yeah,
You know what I
yeah.
mean? Like I don't know. So I don't know. I hope that that's not a thing, and somebody proves me wrong real fast. But who won the Maple Leaf Circuit Finals last year in the steer wrestling?
I'm
Oh, you're
just
putting me on the
pulling it
spot
up.
right now.
I hope it's Scott because then my theory
No,
is wrong.
Scott didn't win the finals last year, I don't believe.
But he won this. He won the circuit though, right?
He won the
Yeah.
circuit. Yeah.
Okay, well it doesn't
Okay.
count.
Average winner last year was Landon Beardsworth. Didn't make the
Dang.
CFR.
Oh my God!
Goodness.
See what I'm saying? See
Ooh.
what I'm saying?
Who won the breakaway? The
Well,
breakaway seems to be standing out to
Bobby
me.
Henderson won it last year,
yeah. Blake Molly
Won
won
the
the average
finals?
in won the finals in the barrel racing.
and she knocked a barrel at the CFR.
Yeah, I don't like. I mean, to be fair, yeah, like I don't think it was a situation where that particularly cost her the
No,
finals,
gosh, no.
right?
That's not what I'm saying. That's not what I'm
Yeah,
saying. I'm
I
just
don't
like,
know. I think that's what you're saying.
I'm saying that maybe just a bit of bad luck involved. I don't know if I'm not trying to
Okay.
put bad juju on no one, but I'm just
Now we
saying.
know why Zeke Thurston doesn't get his circuit count
Yeah,
again.
yeah. We'll never see Zeke in the
Uh,
Maple Leaf Circuit Finals
yeah,
ever.
Grady Quam and Brady Chappell won it last year, which Brady,
Missed the CFR.
yeah.
I'm just saying, man. Just be thinking about it as we head into
Clay's
this.
digging hard right now.
Yeah. Well, and it
Gum
was
ups.
like last year in the tie down roping, Logan Bird won it. Kyle Lucas was second.
That
So
second doesn't count, man.
no,
this is
I know. Yeah,
you're
I get
you're trying
that.
to find holes in my theory and it's not working.
Yeah.
No,
Well, Chance Switzer won the bull riding.
Mrs.
didn't
CFR.
make CFR.
Yeah. Barrack riding, Cody Lamb won it. Didn't win Canada. Bronc riding, obviously Zeke Thurston wasn't there. Lucas Moxo won it last year.
I'm just saying it's an interesting thing to be thinking about as we move through this next week and the next year. But okay, boys, do we have anything else Maple Leaf Circuit Finals before we move on to the last bit here? I guess if you want to follow along, it's going to be on the Cowboy Channel Plus app. I think performances start Wednesday night at 6:30 Central Time.
Yes, I do
Bobby?
believe so.
Okay,
I'm a horrible guy to ask because I'll be down there at 3 o'clock. But
yeah, so just keep an eye on the Cowboy Channel. All the performances will be live on there. We'll be keeping you guys updated on the Canadian Rodeo social media page. It's going to be a great week of rodeo. And if you want to hear more of Robert's beautiful voice, you can tune in and hear it live coming out of the ear, live and in your ear holes coming from the
there you
Brand
go.
Center down there in Regina. Robert Schmidt. All right, boys. Hate to end on a kind of a downer note, but recently one of a heavy hitter in the Canadian Pro Rodeo world passed away. Frank McKee. Am I saying that right, Clay? Frank Mickey. I apologize there. He recently passed away, and he was an integral part of the Pinoca Stampede, part of the CPRA board for a long time, and yeah, part of the Hall of Fame. So, I mean, tough loss there, and we're thinking about all of his family and all of his friends. I don't know if you guys have anything you want to say about that. I didn't know Frank, so I can't really comment any further. I feel bad, but
He was just, I mean, that committee in Pinoca has just had so many legendary members over the years. But I mean, Frank Mickey stands out. I mean, that's the Frank Mickey campground, and it's everything. I mean, as a committee person myself, I mean, those are the kind of guys you look towards to see. I mean, he's that prime example of a quiet leader. I mean, Frank Mickey is not anybody that was standing up on and doing stuff for his own benefit. It was for the benefit of the Ponoka Stampede. And I mean, when you look at how that rodeo has grown to what it's become now, I mean, Frank Mickey and people like him were such a critical part of that. So yeah, it's a tough loss for that community.
Yeah, tough one, and like you say, it's the rodeo community is going to miss him dearly, and yeah, we're thinking about all of his family and friends, and yeah, that's well, rest in peace, Frank Mickey. Okay, one last thing, boys, before we wrap up, I want to get one bold prediction for the Maple Leaf Circuit Finals before we take off here, starting with Robert.
Ooh, a bold prediction.
Mhm.
I'm gonna go out on a limb and say that Scott Gunther comes in firing and wins 3 out of 4. I
Oh,
don't
I
think
thought you were
he's
gonna say
gonna get
four.
them.
I thought you said
I'm
four
not
out of
gonna say
four.
four out
That's a
of
more of a
four,
bold
but I was like,
prediction.
let's just go.
He can go full Jared Parsonage and just sweep him.
Yeah, three out
All
of
right,
four.
Greg Clay, what do you got?
Somebody is going to win the finals, and then they're going to win Canada
Uh,
next year.
boo. I hope you're right. I hope you're right. I do hope you're right. I want
Yeah,
that. If that is indeed a curse, or I don't have to use the word curse, if it is indeed a thing, I hope that it does get broken in 2026. That would be great.
You just
I
broke the
uh, I was
curse,
just
Clay.
yeah, I was just gonna look and say if it was gonna be a bronc rider or not. I don't know if I can be that bold.
That's too
Um,
bold. That's too bold.
that's a little bold, but the guy that yeah, I was looking at this, and I know we didn't like dig into the individual events, but I want to give Jet Wheeler a shout out for I mean, college rodeoing in the States right now, making a trip back up for the Maple Leaf Circuit Finals. I saw actually the one college rodeo here a couple weeks ago. Him and Grady Young are both rodeoing in Snyder, and they split the rodeo together.
Hmm.
Um, so yeah, you see that going there, and everything. But no, I wish I could come up with something more original
Hey
than
man, that's bold. I like it. I like it. Not bad
I just want to throw out some good vibes for some
for the
folks.
folks.
So
Yeah,
yeah,
amen to that.
yeah.
Okay, myself, we talked about it the other day, Robert, but Ethan Mazarenko, he's one of the young and up and coming talents in the bareback riding. I think he's going to step out, win a round or two, take home that average title, and kind of put everybody on notice that hey, he's here, he's legit, and he can win. He proved it last year. He made some big rides down south in the winter run. He's made some big rides up on this side of the border, and I think he's really just coming into his own as one of the next great Canadian bareback riders. Cool.
That's good. That's a good prediction.
Hey,
I
thanks,
I
guys.
like that one.
Thanks,
Um,
guys. Uh,
you know the one I'm gonna go with, and I was looking at this earlier, and I was thinking maybe it'd go a different way or whatever, but I'm pulling for Clay Elliott in the tie down roping.
oh
That's
man,
that's the one I
yeah.
want to see. I know getting to talk to him last year after he won the Cowboy of the Year title, and just the goals that he set, the path he's been on since suffering an injury that and I mean, this is not to take away from Zeke Thurston, but we likely wouldn't be talking about the stretch of domination of Zeke Thurston had Clay Elliott uh, been able to stay healthy.
Hmm.
I mean, up until that point, Zeke Thurston had exactly 0 Canadian titles,
Yeah.
and but that's the past, and I know Clay Elliott is looking to build on his tie down roping career, and there'd be no better way than to leave the Maple Leaf Circuit Finals as the champ.
I love that one. That's great. He's been scratching the surface, I think, when it comes to his tie down rope, and I think, yeah, it'd be a great year for him to break through and make some moves over there in Regina. Well, all right, boys, I got a hockey game to get to. I really appreciate you guys squeezing this in before we crack the latch on the latest edition of the Maple Leaf Circuit Finals. Robert, have a great week in Regina. Excited to hear you
Thank
again
you.
getting in our ear holes on the Cowboy Channel. Will be great. It'll be a great show down there. Clay, as always, thanks again, man, and we'll catch you all on the very next episode of the Short Round.